What's up? Welcome into your Daily Buckeye Blitz for a Thursday, September 12th, 2024. Hope you're doing well. Week's almost over. Another week of good college football coming up. I wouldn't say great, but who knows? Last week we had like one or two good games going into the week, and it turned into, things just went nuts. So love it. That's why we love college football, right? You never know what can happen. Bama going up to Wisconsin this weekend. Who's to say Luke and the boys can't pull it off? I don't know. The spread's not great for Wisconsin fans, but never know. So we're going to talk about that later. Um, I'll have my best bets coming up early Saturday morning, first thing. I'll release those Friday night, like at midnight, probably. What else? I got some hot takes coming tomorrow since we don't need 5 keys to a Buckeye victory on a bye week, improvement week, they call it. I won't have any 5 keys, but I will have maybe 5 hot takes on this college football season and some takes on the Buckeyes specifically, of course. So that's coming up on tomorrow's Daily Blitz. And I'll be live Friday, 4:30 p.m. Eastern. Going to have some more film for you. Offense and defense both. Figure out exactly how we want to focus, where we want to focus on. But we did the offensive line last Friday, so if you missed that, go back and check it out. And let's get into it here. We're talking Jim Knowles, talking defense right now. So he was asked about kick it off. Denzel Burke's ejection, obviously lowering his helmet. He went on and on. Took a long pause and just said his final statement is, you just have to keep your head up because it's a gray area. And again, I don't know how the second man in making a tackle could be flagged for a targeting. Downs, I believe, was the first man in tackling the guy. The guy's going to the ground. I mean, what do you expect? Like, yeah, if you're some clown in an office somewhere working for the Big Ten Network or work for the Big Ten, and you watch this shit in slow motion, yeah, it's going to look worse than it actually is. It's going to look like the defender had time to pull up. But dude, life is not played. Games are not played in half speed. These are high level athletes running full speed, being aggressive, making plays, and this stuff bothers me. Just the continuous reaching by these officials and refs looking for targeting. It's across the board in college football. I know they're trying to set a tone or whatever, send a message, but you're reaching, honestly. I mean, seriously. Then I see two players go head to head like that. Both of them crumble to the ground. Nobody gets a flag. Okay, what are we doing? Anyway, so Jim Knowles talked about Jermaine Matthews filling in well for Denzel. He said it's a long season. Strange things can happen. Depth is critical. We've heard Ryan Day talk about that all off season. He said Jermaine is that area of guys who might not be a starter, but in our mind are considered a starter. So he came in and did a good job. Yeah. I mean, it's not like they tried to go after him. They couldn't. Knowles also likes, he talked about the impact of having the iPads on the sidelines and upstairs. He said, we're getting everything in real time, so you can pretty much grade a player after every series. And so that makes coaching easier when you have direct video proof of, you screwed up here or you did well here, but next time watch for this, and this. So I could definitely see having that video evidence. You can say, all right, you're out. You screwed up again, 2 plays in a row, you're out, hit the bricks, somebody else is in for you, so that's being graded in real time. Jim Knowles talked about the linebackers self-scouting this week in the bye week. He said He sees a lot of things to work on for the defense that maybe others don't. Those are probably very specific as the landscapers go past my window. They always wait for me to fire up the camera and microphone before they fire up the lawnmowers. It's like a same switch, same button. Anyway, so he said that self-scouting and seeing what he called and how he can have more change ups. Maybe he gets into a pattern of defensive calls, So when we maybe some change ups when they need them, and it's looking at every play and seeing what we did. Obviously, when you're self-scouting, how did your team perform with this particular play call? On the linebackers, he talked about Cody Simon and the things that Cody does that does not show up in a box score. He said Cody's the leader of the defense, the quarterback of the defense. He's a conscientious young man, bleeds Ohio State. There's so many more things that gives the team, he gives the team aside from statistics. And yeah, I mean, you see him on the field, he looks like he's playing faster, freer, than he used to. And Knowles talked about Arvell Reese. He said Arvell, he's made tremendous improvements since he's arrived here. He's got tremendous physical tools. He's understanding where all the pieces go, and he's able to play fast without thinking. Now, on the other linebacker, CJ Hicks, could he play near the line of scrimmage? He was asked. He said, we haven't discussed that because CJ is still developing very well, and he's still considered very much a part of that mix at linebacker. It's always been in the back of my mind. I know it may come into play at some point. You'd have to experience some depth issues at certain places. He's talking about defensive ends. He says, we're so talented on the edge right now. Our depth is so good. Again, I brought this up the other day. That's fine. If you want to bring CJ and just blitz him off the edge, then who do you take off the field? You're loaded at defensive end. You could bring him in as an extra rusher in like a rush men package. But again, that rush men package is like, JT, Jack, Kenyatta, and Tyleek right now. So, or Caden Curry, they flip him in there sometimes. So I don't know who you bench, who you take off the field, to bring in an extra blitzer. And at some point, the other team's going to be, they're going to catch on and realize, oh, when 11 comes in, they're probably going to blitz him because he doesn't do anything else. So, you're kind of pigeonholing yourself and the call. On the D-line, Knowles talked about what he's seen from Ty Hamilton. He's developed into a dominant player. He's a guy that controls the interior of the line of scrimmage. He's a cold-blooded gentleman. I like that phrase, cold-blooded gentleman. He's a force. Cade McDonald, K-Mac, they call him. K-Mac's done a tremendous job since he's gotten here. We've been expecting him to have a breakout year, and he had a great week. He did. Looking at K-Mac's stats this past week, he had 14 snaps. 10 of those were in run defense, 4 in pass rush. He graded out a 77 in run defense and a 68.6 in pass defense. Had 3 tackles. He had a batted down pass. So great week. This is just the beginning for Caden McDonald. I think we should see more and more of him on the inside. He's got to be in that 2 deep behind Tyleek and Ty, in my opinion. So anyway, the K-Mac safeties, on the comfort of having Lathan Ransom and Caleb Downs at safety. He said, you don't sweat it. You can go into those 2 and say, this week we want to do this, and you just kind of roll. These guys are like just having, an extension of the coach, mentally on the field, where they can take it from just a quick order, take it to the field, and it's done. I mean, it's got to be reassuring, and I would hope that Coach Knowles sleeps well at night, knowing that those 2 are on the back end of the defense. So, Oh yeah, he talked about the depth at safety. He said he's more confident in the safety depth between Jalen McLean and Malik Hartford. They're getting more reps. He said both those guys are coming along, so that's what we need to see more of. Looking at the safeties from this past weekend, McLean got 9 snaps, Malik Hartford 9. Most of those were in pass coverage. So, um, yeah, they just had one target, I believe. Yeah, no targets, no targets for either one of them. So, anyway, not a lot to report on there, but yeah, everybody played. 34 dudes got in the game. That's amazing. That's not going to be normal. You're probably going to see like half of that typically. So it's going to be interesting to see. I think when you're looking at the safeties, how many of these young guys are going to get in, get reps. Even against Marshall, slight step up in competition. From Akron to Western Michigan, now Marshall. We'll see what happens there, but. Oh, I meant to bring up seeing some things this morning about the Connor Stallions scandal. Looks like they have digital proof that coaches actually saw the Stallions videos, looked at them. And then what else did I see? Oh, the Pack 2 is now up to 6. So there's that. Cool, huh? Anyways, I'll touch on some of those things tomorrow, probably as we get more information on what's happening. So, little conference realignment there. Little cheaters maybe aren't so squeaky clean after all, but we knew that already. Anyways, that's all I got for you today. Talk to you tomorrow. Go Bucks.